I'm starting this gang stalking video that shows the targeting I have been subjected to, with a few pics from over 150 events as a reference for character. These events included churches, universities like Langston, ACM, ACU, and Cameron. They also include music labels like Rare Diamond, Walkin', and various promotion groups like Subsonics, Vibe Tribe, and many more. Some of these events were for governors' luncheons or corporate events like hotels and Wounded Warriors or casinos. All of these events occurred in Oklahoma, Texas, California, Colorado, or St. Louis. I'm showing these 150 events as a background to my involvement with the music industry. My position was the light designer, laser operator, video jockey, and senior technical advisor, just under the stage manager. If there was anything that didn't work, I was the responsible person. All of these events happened within a 4-year range, and that's where I learned about who was doing the events and what was being done. Basically, they were entrapping the artist and the party goers at farmers market. They used a kick down room for the bus. They had curtains that covered the cameras, and they forced artists to do shows at discounted rates to keep from being prosecuted. This is entrapment, and they use mind control at the venue. What they're doing is selling you a pill and then using mind control to make you feel like you're on drugs. My targeting began after working with a gentleman named Nathan Poindexter, shown here. He was connected to a gentleman named Dusty Phillips, who ran OKC Farmers Market. He was the sound guy at the venue, and he had a person who referred to Daddy, and I believe he was Kent Simpson, the sheriff's department. None of my attacks happened until I met him and his girlfriend, Anita Sanders. She's a lawyer from the Oklahoma City area who takes cases and loses them on purpose. Here's the Kent Simpson story, and basically it's going over what happened to him, his connection with his son, who's the methamphetamine manufacturer out of Walters, the jail that I was attacked in. And it goes on to say that he allowed his son to escape, and he harbored his son, and it didn't allow him to be arrested after his charges. And I was put into a cell with his son, and he told me and the other people in the cell what happened on that day, that his dad chased him and allowed him to escape by having an accident. So because I know firsthand what happened with this attack, with this car chase and his history with the manufacturing, this is all connected to OKC Farmers Market. So Walters is making the illegal drugs, and they were trafficking it through Oklahoma and other states. Of course, I didn't have any problems at first because I was helping them. But once I turned in my daughter's mother, Christina Anderson, from Walters, that's when my targeting began, and she went to rehab, and things at my job doing my shows became difficult, and I started getting targeted and then put into the judge's apartment, like I said. It's all connected. Now going to go over these gang stalkers. Rashad Young, he's friends with Dusty Phillips. As you can see here, they hang out, they work together. He has a vinyl company, and they work on certain things. He has 3 felonies right here for cocaine, and he's on a 10-year note. This is Jeremy Bland of Subsonics. They work together. He does merchandising, takes the money. You can imagine who delivers the goods. As you can see here, he's with some other people. They get a lot of artists that come through there. Brocco Johnson, he's another perp. These are the club owners in Bricktown. They're connected. They were there when I was threatened face to face. Randy Gloria, he's one of the biggest perps claiming DEA. You can tell him and his brother what they do. His brother here got in trouble for selling a pistol to an undercover cop. Once they get caught, they're put on. So you're a rat. You have to do the dirty work. Here's showing them where they want to be my friends. Tamara Bryant, that's the mother. She married Gwendolyn Bryant. Got the room, apartment. They try to make me not be able to speak whenever I'm doing my videos. They can alter my speech, my handwriting. My thoughts are sporadic. Chaotic Brim. As you can tell here, he's blood gang. 5 generations of doing dirty work for the police department. You're not going to get in trouble when your whole family has been doing this. It's called a haiku when they get the elected officials in charge involved. And here's Markil Pendarvis. He's the one that stole my security camera, made threats, flattened my tires. His apartment was in Kenyatta's name. This is her. They all claim they don't know what's going on, but yet they didn't have to pay their rent until I had them evicted. And then Kevin Marcus and his family moved in. Markil is connected with Jeff. Jeff's connected to the town, known as Big Dog. Of course, he doesn't get in trouble for anything he does, but he was there when Aaron overdosed, and I'm sure he's connected to Jarrell Pendarvis. As you can see, they all are connected to a policeman or a firefighter in your town. Like I said, once they become rats, they get put on. They don't get in trouble. This is a big catfisher. See how big he is? All they do is sit there and hold this device on you so they can read your thoughts, and they save these thoughts so they can program them and make you disturbed. That's what they do. As you can see here, they're carrying fold-out chairs and ice chests. They pack their lunch. It's just like they go to work. They go in there, they do their time, and they target you, and they make you feel crazy, and they mess with your head. And they can do this from anywhere, but when they get within 300, 200 feet, they can do damage. Even Katie Pagel, the landlord at Mikazak Properties, is working for the judge. They get people on their side, even if you know them. You can't trust anybody. I even knew this guy, Jonathan, last name Lewis, holding handcuffs, extra magazine, carrying a pistol, claiming he's a cop now. He wasn't a cop whenever I knew him, but they promised him jobs to do things for them. Aaron Laughlin, like I said, he got charges for in public indecency in the presence of a minor, lewd act or whatever, and he's outside my house, and his mom's claiming she don't know nothing, but she's a catfisher. You can see how big she is. All these people just sit there and use the electronics. They don't move. I know these two were involved. They're in apartment C, but they left once I started calling the police. They knew what was going on. Gwendolyn Bryant, he's from Chickasha. His father, I think, is a policeman maybe, but I know he's involved. I got pictures of everybody, and I'm posting them up. Like I said, they're 5th gen. That's the gang. That's the set they claim. As you can see, they're here. There's a lot of them. This is when they started getting in my inbox, saying he moved out. That was October. And I have pictures coming up in November of him still being there. So they lie and act like, they don't know what's going on. Try to make you portray that you're crazy and you don't know what you're doing, or saying that you're on drugs. But I don't do drugs. I have too big a responsibility to do drugs. And these people, they just get used to doing it over and over again, because, social media, that's just the way it is. You get 15 people pointing the fingers and laughing. Well, that's what kids do. But I got pictures of them all that are gaslighting. They're all in the same gangs. They're all connected to the police department, and nothing happens to them. I think he's from Walters or Geronimo. And they tell you, to go kill yourself, and they tell you to do all this, and they make you look like you're crazy. And that's one thing, but if you can't turn it off, that's another. And then the coroner shows up, and the guy across the street kills himself. I started wondering, maybe they're going to kill me and make me think, make it look like I killed myself. So I started taking pictures of people. When the voices don't go away, you leave your apartment and you go to work, and the voices still follow you. Like I said, when it's on, because there's no end now. And at that point, I started taking pictures of everybody coming and going to the apartment connected. That black SUV had a bullet hole through the window at one time. And this is when I started noticing a lot of the red cars. And, well, I pictured, blood gang. It's all red. All out-of-towners. I've been in this town for 20 years, and I know some of them, and I'm not going to say I know them, I know of them. And some of these people aren't from here. I started noticing a bunch of paper tags, a bunch of out-of-state tags, people going and coming in the middle of the night with backpacks, kids on my car. They carry stuff in, and some of these are illegal immigrants, and they bring the drugs and the baby, and they're at the judge's house, so they know they're not going to get busted. They know no one's going to kick in the door. I think it's connected to Judge Adair, Judge Corrales, and some other ones, because I know Judge Corrales came from Muskogee, and he has coke charges. Judge Adair, I believe he has coke charges, involvement in Muskogee. These are the maintenance men. I think they're connected to Eddie Corrales or his brother. This guy right here, he started threatening my daughter's life when he showed up. And that's whenever I moved my daughter to her mom's house for a week or so I could start figuring out who everybody is. And they're connected to the Toyota dealership. Because they have these trade-in cars. They'll give them a trade-in car for them to do the work. All they do is get social security numbers and IDs and tag people, so that way they can go through and steal their identities, use their credit card numbers online to buy these gift cards, and in exchange they give them a vehicle, finance them a vehicle, and they have to pay it. If they wreck it, who cares? They have to pay for it. So it's a win-win for the car lot, and they get put on Section 8. They get gift cards for payment. Once they made threats on my daughter, I started taking pictures of everybody, every car coming and going. it's on. I'm going to go through here. I try not to show any car more than once because there's over 50 cars and maybe 60 cars. That's over 10 cars per apartment if you count my apartment, and I don't have 10 cars at my apartment, so that just makes it even more. But I know it's a traffic spot for drugs, for the sheriff's department, and I even called FBI, and they didn't want to get involved. They said the police department has it. I'll play that video at the end. I'm going to put all these videos, these little clips I made together, so that way it'll show the clear picture of what gang stalking is. They're trying to control my thoughts and make it hard for me to speak right now. And that's why I'm documenting this, is neural rights. Neural rights, if we don't have neural rights, they can mind control you and make you do things you don't want to do, especially if they have the police on their side, because there's no consequence. This is why they have these cults, and they're all connected. Once they know they're in a gang that can't be touched, they feel like they're above everybody, and that's why things happen the way they do, because no one's holding these people accountable for their actions. They're above the law. Sorry for all these pictures, but I just have to document what I have to do, and it's just the way it is. I'll talk a little bit about the electronics. They use a fish finder, they tag you with the fish finder, and then they combine it with the other electronics like 5G or ham radios or CBs. They use CB burners. That's where it came from, as a burner. Policemen used to do this to drug makers or drug dealers or pedophiles that they couldn't prosecute, to make them go crazy, and then they would follow them and harass them, and that's where this came from. It's called a burner, and they use a burner from a CB amp. So they'll combine a CB amp and they put it on you like they did me and Walters, and they burn you and make you sensitive to electronics. So that way they can use psych ops on you to make you feel like you have pain and make it hard for you to talk or think. Whenever I was in jail with Kenneth Stradley's son, Travis Simpson, he told me about his dad wrecking his vehicle so he could escape, and then he swam across the river, went to the barn, and got rid of the evidence from the manufacturing he had going on. And this is why I was targeted. And I think maybe Christina Anderson turning her in had something to do with him and him getting caught. But they drove my blood pressure up very high. They boiled the blood off my head, off my scalp from the upstairs, causing calcium oxalate crystals to form in my blood system, which is basically gallstones in your urine but not in your blood. Your blood should never get so thick that calcium begins to crystallize. Those are DHS agents. They come from DHS trying to use DHS against you for the city, because they're on their side also. More threats from Chaotic, talking about violence. And this is a month after he told me he don't even live there. I got pictures of him moving out, the stuff that he doesn't own. A month later, his girlfriend was Brandy Yates. I believe she's connected to Muskogee, living in Cash, I think, is where she lives at. I got every picture, every person that's involved that's at my apartment complex over there. And our next video clip I'm going to show is Aaron laughing. They try to make me say a lot so that way it makes you feel stupid. But Aaron laughing, he was charged for showing himself, and he's outside my house overdosing, making threats to me, but police don't want to investigate. So he got put on paper, and then if he did good, he would get released. So here's his video overdosing.
Yeah. Did he get out? No, nobody was there. Did he get out? No, he's in the truck. I know that's in there. He fell out of the truck. He did. Hit the damn tire. He fell out? Yeah. Oh, wait, that's the door. Hey, live over here. Where you at, E? He can do that. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. It's Robert. So. I'm gonna get my flashlight because it's dark right there. You have a flashlight, Jeff?
Do I need to take him to the emergency room?
No clue yet. I think you need to. I think you better have a discussion. Hold on, Nick. Come on, hold on. Fucking nose. Yeah. Hold on. I think you got some cut. Okay. No. Nobody. Yeah, cover. Cover face. Yeah, cover face up. Oh, yeah. You want to do that? Yeah, you can stop. Go up. Grab it down.
I stop!
Let me tell you in the shower.
No. Stay where you are.
What happened? You don't have to lean on it. You don't have to lean on it. Come to stay down. Look at me. Look at me. Come on. I'm telling you. Right. Come here. E. Hey. Right down. Here. Okay. Here. No. You. Huh? You would do it. Here. Here you go. Ready? Ready? Yes.
I just want to make sure you're all right. I'm going to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, it's right.
I have no idea.
This is Markeel from Darvis in his video of stealing my camera that provides security for my family.
Do not try to run in the house now. Do not. Do not. Fuck Peppy, lucky I don't call my neighbors. Ooh, I'm gonna take care of this myself. Come back outside! Come back outside with that motherfucking ignorance. You got the nerve. Got the nerve. Okay. Take my bike back upstairs. We can't even fucking enjoy this shit. I'm gonna wipe this motherfucker up. Come back outside!
So even though I got camera footage, audio footage, and police reports about vandalism and stealing of my security camera, my report goes closed, uninvestigated because of who they are. So now I've got the people next door downstairs, the people upstairs bothering me, and then the apartment upstairs next to them stealing my camera. But they try to say I'm crazy. Next video here, I'm going to show him packing his lunch where he brings all his little goodies up and watches me. He's got to have a week's worth of beef sticks while he sits there and eats. It's very strange whenever you know the people that are watching you know you're watching them, and it's like a spy versus spy. Next video is emergency room after they cut me from the apartment upstairs. Alright, I'm at the hospital. I'm trying to get an MRI done. I'm spitting up blood out of my sinuses. And they're not going to give me an MRI. They said they can't give me an EEG. Stay tuned. This is a picture of the healthy tissue they cut out of my nasal cavity, trying to trim off pieces of my brain. They were practicing scalping little areas off my brain, and were started from the front, thinking that it was going to kill me. And this is whenever I started using shielding. As you can see here, this app shows the dirty sound when they turn the ham radio on. There's a dirty sound underneath, and then they get feedback around 10K, so they have to gate it. You can tell there they've got a clear notch. This is an app showing the ultrasound. This is the V2K. V2K comes on the ultrasound, and it's pushed into your head from above. So they're combining this ultrasound that comes with the fish finder with 18 to 22 kilohertz. This is your V2K source. This is the sound that you hear people talking, and it's hard to track. I mean, it's hard to record. You can track it right here. It shows you how long or where we're at, but recording it's very difficult. Next video clip is my Kilp and Darvis flattening my tires, as you'll see here.
That's outside. Come on outside. Come on outside.
This guy flattened 4 of my tires on 2 different days, and what they do is it's a bait technique. They try to get you outside, and then they're the one that calls the police, and that way they can use this paperwork that they file against you. It's a real backwards type deal. But here's the police reports I filed about the vandalism, with the money. And the police department doesn't want to investigate, and man, it's bad. Here's the receipts showing the repairs that were done. It wasn't too long after I got like a flat tire. The flattened tires. Next day, the landlord comes over here and starts threatening to tow my stuff for my tires being flattened. One day after I go get my tires repaired, he flattens the other 2 tires. So I turn in a report about that, and then they try to say I have a mutual agreement to terminate my lease because I have a complaint. I had to protect myself with reflectors. That's how bad the signal is. It blurs your vision. I made reflectors right here to push the signal back upwards to the apartment upstairs. Whenever you have to wear a helmet in your own house because they're cutting tissue out of your brain, you're fighting for your life. Meanwhile, I have my child in the house, and it makes you want to commit a crime. It really does. Here's the perpetrators trying to break in my house. This video shows perpetrators outside and my light complaint. It's 3 a.m. I just found someone on my camera sneaking around my apartment again in my vehicle. trying to sneak around my camera. See the security lights? No, you can't see the security lights, can you? Because they don't fucking work. None of our cars over here are protected. See my car? No, you don't. See all these security lights? No, you don't. Because they don't work. Let's see if they're coming back. 3 a.m., just like clockwork. After complaining about lights and people breaking in my vehicle, I get my notice saying that they're going to tow my vehicle. This is all in the one weekend. It's pretty much chronological order here. They're saying they're going to tow me because I got 2 flat tires. The second set of flat tires I have now. And I mean, what can you do? You keep buying new tires, but it is what it is. So I reported it to the manager, and this is whenever they decided to give me a letter saying there's a mutual agreement. And that's when I know they're involved. So now, because they can't kill me, now they have to try to make me leave town because I'm filing charges against them. And if I file charges against them, then I'll get a lawsuit. So now they have to try to get me to leave town. And I know they can kill me if they try, but I'm reflecting it back up. So they don't like that. Here's the second receipt for the other 2 tires that I had fixed on the 14th. Just a couple of days later. And I showed you before there was a way to record the ultrasound. So now I have to start collecting evidence because the voices, they don't leave. I mean, I can leave town and the voices follow you. So at this point, it's gang. It's them against me. And I have to collect evidence of who they are so that way later on in my life, I have proof that it's them who did it. These are very high signals in my living room. Anything over 90 decibels, I think, cuts skin. So there's plenty of evidence here, but nobody wants to investigate the evidence I collect. 102 decibels of ultrasound in my living area is a murder attack. They're attempted murder. They've already cut tissue out of my head. They vibrated 4 teeth out of my mouth in one night because they want you to sound like a druggie. They want you to look like a druggie. They want you to sound like a druggie. They want you to talk like you're crazy. So that way it all matches up. And this is their way of making you unbelievable. Next video. Alright, I'm going to show you how stupid this place is. Security light. LED security light. It only works till like 2 a.m. Security light. They fixed the 2. I'm going to show you the 2 they fixed. Of course, there's nothing wrong with the 2 they fixed. Here's the 2 they fixed. I think that one's upside down. That's the other one. They still don't work. Probably because they're too slow to figure out this electric right here is not connected to anything. So maybe if you have an electrician come out and figure out why it's not working, you might be able to figure out why these lights don't work. Alright. Might want to turn the other one around too while you're at it. At this point, Markel Pendarvis was evicted with a past due of over $3,000. Once he moved out, Kevin and his family, Marcus or Kevin, whichever name it is, they moved into his apartment and took over the attacks from that apartment. I did go and get a MRI. These are some photos of my MRI, which showed a thickening of my third and fourth ventricle with extraordinary pictures saying that they're extraordinary images with ultrasound present, making the pictures very, very bright, even inside and outside the skull, to include my eye sockets. So the ultrasound makes the x-rays more pronounced, much like a mammograph. They use a mammograph ring to make your x-rays better. So you can see even around the edges of my skull are highlighted because the ultrasound is present. Next video is going to be the break-in attempt, where they tried to break in. I believe this is Markel Pendarvis' mother, or Dawn. I'm not sure. She wears a wig all the time, so you got some audio with it.
I'm sorry, I have the wrong house.
Damn right you got the wrong house. She done went to my bedroom window, went to my sliding glass door, ducked the camera, and then tried to come through my front door, and that's when I confronted her. I believe this is her. This is a good picture to compare. Next thing will be, let me see, the prong. This is the police report I filed about the threats of violence, attempted break-in. I mean, you can only select certain things on these police reports. They don't allow you to put in what you want. You have to make you select things. So during this time, they were twisting stuff in my wall, and this is what they used. They used a frog gig. They, as you can see, it's in the top right hand corner. They put it a hole in the wall, and then they turn it against your pipe to keep you up all night. That way you can complain, and lack of sleep deprivation is what they're trying to do. They go by these blue devils from Walters, but I also seen this blue devil symbol in New York when I went to go work up there with the same connected people. I put offensive grand larceny, chaotic brim. It didn't matter whose name I put or what charges I put, but they kept trying to kill me with this device and make me stay up all night to sleep deprive me. But at this time I wasn't working, so that wasn't working for them either. It's me versus them in an apartment, and the police continue to take their side. It's a whole program I've learned. It's a TI program designed to make you look crazy and deprive you of your ability to provide for yourself. Eventually they try to make you seem crazy, and then once you're crazy, then your word doesn't matter. But here's another police report I filed. Threats of violence. Chris, this is Chris Nettles. He was involved, talking about the fish finder, how they do it. I even contacted Captain James Smith. He refused to return my call. I made a DVDs with all this information, trying to get a lawyer to investigate, because every time I file charges against the police department or against these individuals, they keep getting closed. And that's when I filed another police report, this time speaking of Dustin Dye from the Internal Affairs, because he's the one that has closed my police reports in the past. If they have their officers closing my complaints and my charges against the police department, there's no way I can go to court because they keep closing my reports. This is a conspiracy against human rights under the Colorado law, which is Title 18, Statute 244. I have another video on here with Aaron laughing. What he does is he goes to court and is promised that if he gets me out of the apartment, his charges will be lightened. He's going to plead guilty. He's going to get me to move out of the apartment, and then he will get his charges finalized at a lesser charge. And the next video shows him coming home from court and attacking me while basically I'm asleep, and he starts banging on my door and windows and charges complaint. This is what he complains about. He says I had loud music for the night before. I don't even play the guitar, so I don't know where they're coming up with. This is a fabricated story for him to come attack my house and me while I'm in my apartment. Here's a video. I just want to point out that they're targeting my camera because they don't want evidence collected. And as you will see, the camera audio glitches out, and at some point it even disconnects her 911 call because that's how strong the signal is. And for someone who wants to just talk to me about a sound complaint, you'll see the video where he's pounding and making threats. I'm just going to let you watch the video and you can decide for yourself.
No, I don't think so. It's just really hot.
Big sucker liar. You're a fucking prick.
So now this guy has gone upstairs and got his story straight with my attackers from upstairs. He has shown himself in public. He has overdosed in my driveway. He has shown outrage in public. And now he's beating on my doors and windows. And I have to protect my family from this person. I'm now awake and I've already called 911. And he comes back again. Now he got his story straight.
Stop, motherfucker!
Now that I've confronted him, he's going to call the cops because he had his mom call the cops when I opened the door. And he's going to get his brother to show up on his motorcycle, even though he wasn't present for any of the confrontation, which there wasn't a confrontation. He just knocked on my door, banged on my door until I opened it, and then he said call the cops because this is their whole plan that he has with the lawyer from today. This is what happened this morning. He went to court, he got done with court, came home and did this immediately. And tomorrow his charges will be finalized. You'll see he went to court. For someone who's at court for being violent and coming home and doing this after court, this shows you that he's in the program and doing as he's told by the judge to get a lesser sentence. I'll let it play out from here.
apparently the gentleman that lives right here on his side likes to make a whole lot of fucking noise. And my mom told me that he was like fucking down. So I said, knock on the door. Knock on the door. He's coming out with a fucking machete. And I'm like, oh, go for it. And so mom fucking got, oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Everything happened just now. Nothing happened last night. I'm going to keep it. A machete knife. Like a sword. And he touched my son. Pointed it at him. Like he just wanted to. This guy's crazy. No, but the call dropped, and so I there.
This shows my 911 call. I had to call him 2 times. Shows the officers that showed up. Of course, they play victim, saying that's I'm the problem, but yet they're banging on my doors. Of course, I had to file a police report, domestic violence again, for him doing what he's doing to me. Same people that overdosed, same people that are threatening me, connected to the blood gangs and the motorcycle groups. Of course, they closed this police report too. After this, I received a notice saying that they have a crime-free addendum and that I have 24 hours to vacate. Even though I never left my apartment, I never left the threshold of my apartment, I never banged on anybody's doors. They want to evict me for having someone with the charges for being aggravated in public, and they want him to bang on my doors and evict me. If they had a problem with loud noise, the police would have came and knocked on my door, okay? But if I have a problem with someone attacking me with electronic weapons, police ain't gonna go knock on their door. Now you can see here his charges were dismissed that day. The day he did this is the day he got his charges dismissed. Here's the ultrasound levels for that night, because they know they got backing by the judge, so now they're going to try to kill me again. And here's the video of that. I called 911.
Alright, I have that in here.
Okay, whatever I told you.
That they're upstairs in apartment A. Someone has a fish finder and you want them to take it out of their hands, and it's making you and your cat go crazy.
No, it's not making me go crazy. It's causing me pain in my head and in my heart. I feel it on my body. It's making my cat go crazy. Yeah?
Okay. Yep.
And what was your name?
My name is Christina.
Alright. Thank you. Are they going to be
Absolutely. I'm sorry?
Are they going to be dispatched?
Yep, we already have 2 officers being dispatched.
Thank you.
Officers arriving. Apartment A is upstairs. Maybe they don't know. And I just want to point out that the camera's working perfect. The sound is working perfect. And I'm not going to answer the door because these are the people, the thugs, the tyrants in the town that are doing this, okay? So the camera works, as you can see, the sound works, as you see, but whenever I wake up and the people upstairs are trying to get out of the house without being seen, because there's only one staircase going upstairs, you cannot get in or out without being seen on camera. You'll notice that the camera doesn't work, okay? And you'll see. So, the problem is upstairs in apartment A. They come and knock on my door. Why don't they go to apartment A where the problem's coming from? I don't know. Thank you, LPD, doing such a great job investigating my complaint. This is a photo of the officers involved. Officer 1. Shine the security camera. Thank you for doing that. It helped me identify you. And then, when I wake up, this is what I wake up to. It's 2 o'clock because they keep me up all night in pain. And when I woke up, this is what I see on my video camera. These are all still photos because it's cut out. The video camera was obviously working the night before, but during this process, they have targeted my video recorder hard drive. And this is where I said they could disable my camera. Like I said, they're using this device and causing the quartz chip in your computer, the clock it runs on, to vibrate, causing it to malfunction. Showing you the video of what I woke up to and how it skips. And who my perpetrators are came from that apartment. They're in more than one apartment. Okay, see how fast that was? I mean, it was terrible. They glitched out my computer camera, and makes it hard to collect evidence, okay? And then they will corrupt your hard drive by focusing it on your hard drive if it's a mechanical hard drive. Here's the time at 2:10 in the afternoon. EMS was called to remove a person from upstairs apartment A. And I'm not sure if she came back or not. So she could have possibly died from the complaints that I called 911 about. They're killing themselves trying to kill me. Okay? The next video will play the sound so that way you can hear the camera glitching out and the clock. This police report filed about the attempted murder of myself and the continued usage of FCC regulated devices or homemade devices. I have reported this to the FCC also. I've reported this to about everybody you can report to. Sound is off because of the device. And if you look at the frame rate up there on the top left corner, notice how the frame rate it glitches out, the clock glitches out, the time glitches out, sound glitches out. And this is how they keep you from collecting evidence, okay? If the device is strong enough to knock out your camera and your hard drive and cut skin from your head, it's attempted murder. State Statute 241 is actually 242 is deprivation of rights, okay? If I filed 10 police reports and they're all closed by a lieutenant and a sergeant, Sergeant Dustin Dye, I believe, is the one that closed it. The lieutenant I don't have the name for yet. But if they continue to close your reports without investigating, not one phone call, that constitutes as not only deprivation of rights, but conspiracy of human rights. And you see the time up there, it just stops and goes, along with the sound. They're trying to cover their tracks. Now I want to get a copy of the public records so I can have these people testify and find out what her ailments were and if she actually died or if she received any type of treatment that's related to my treatment. And 911 records for phone calls for this apartment complex, I want them too. I mean, it's a 6 different dwellings in this apartment. There's 3 residents upstairs, there's 3 residents downstairs,
and it's a trap house for the sheriff's department. Like I said, Sheriff Kenneth Stradley, he's one of the crookedest ones I know. I was in jail when his son came to jail because he wrecked his own car to let his son go. And this is all information I'm firsthand aware of. They put me on the permanent side, even though I was only there for a failure to pay a ticket. They put me on the permanent side with all the long-termers, and they attacked me with another device from the cell adjacent. And they did this all night, and they left at about 5 o'clock in the morning. And they're only 12 inches or 18 inches from my head, okay? They tried to kill me in Walters Police Department. So I called 911. They failed to investigate. The next day, EMS was called. A person was removed. And I have photos of the people that were there when my attack happened. I have photos of everyone. I have names of everyone. I've been investigating this for 3 years now. The reason why the sound cuts in and out is because the fish finder is propagating. It means it has to bounce back in order to be effective. So it's hitting the device, then it's going through, and it's coming back and hitting the device again. Okay? This is the actual footage for evidence of them removing the person and my attackers coming out.
You got a phone on you, Agent?
These attacks happen every night, all night. I had to move my daughter at one point because I knew that they were targeting her because she woke up with the same pain in the same area. Whenever my knee and her knee hurts in the same spot, I know they're targeting my daughter. It's remote neural monitoring is what it is. They're tagging you as a fish, and it's storing you on the computer. They have this hooked up to a computer, and they're adding microwave or 5G sources, energy, in addition to the sonar.
I'm going to end this video with a callback I got from the FBI. It took them 1 year to call me back. I lived in this apartment for a year without even complaining because I thought they were official. And then after a year, I started investigating, and I found out that the police were the ones in charge and they were using family members to attack me. But this is the video. It took them a year after that of the FBI calling back telling me it's not their jurisdiction and they don't investigate terrorists, but the the website clearly says it does.
Hello?
Hi, is this Dudley?
Yes?
Hi, Dudley. This is Shannon Terry. I'm a special agent with the FBI, and I was returning your call.
Alrighty. I think the last time I called, it was in regards to the Lawton Police Department.
Okay.
I've filled out 9 or 10 police reports, and they've all been erased, closed, or deemed not investigatable or something by 2 lieutenants.
Okay. About what kind of violation?
It is Judge Corrales' apartment complex. He owns the building. I was put into the house by HUD Housing. They made a TBRA, which is a rental-based assistance to get into the house.
Mm-hmm.
After getting into the house, there's a lot of gang activity upstairs. I made a report on that.
When you say gang activity, what do you mean?
I already have them all on my Facebook. They claim blood gang from Altus.
Well, when you say gang activity, what specific activity are you talking about?
Selling drugs.
Okay. What kind of drugs?
I don't know what kind of drugs, but I know they overdosed in my driveway, and he had to be carried in on my security camera.
Okay. Well, how do you know they're drugs?
I know. There's way too much traffic. I know they're drugs.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you haven't provided enough specific information for further action to be taken.
I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Special Agent Terry.
Terry, do you have a badge number or anything else that I can go by besides just Terry?
No.
Okay. If you look at my 10 police reports, there's plenty of information on there.
Well, so far during this conversation, you haven't been able to provide very specific information.
Okay, his name is Chaotic Brim. He's from Altus. There's Martiel Pendarvis. There's Christopher Robinson.
Okay, well, belonging to a gang is not enough information to really take action. I'm sure that they've taken it seriously, and there just probably was not enough actionable evidence.
No, they never called. They never asked me one question.
Mm-hmm.
On top of this drug selling at the judge's house, which is actually entrapment, I provided my own security camera, which was destroyed. I had 4 flattened tires, which were from these people, all on video. I also told the landlord that they needed to provide security lights out there that are posted that do not work. They replaced the lights, but they never hooked up electricity to them. So the new security lights do not work. The person upstairs, which was Martiel Pendarvis and Chaotic Brim, were using a fish finder inside a residence for illegal listening. This is all for a group called 6-0 out of Lawton, which are basically the snitches for the sheriff's department.
I mean, if you've provided all of this information to the police department, I'm sure that they've taken it seriously and are doing what they can.
Agent, what they're doing is they're hiding it because they don't want it to be found. They keep sweeping it under the carpet. Every time I report it, they sweep it under the carpet like it doesn't happen. I have blood work done because of this fish finder, and I have calcium oxalate crystals in my blood. It's just from them boiling my blood. I have a thickening of my 3rd ventricle. This is where they're focusing the energy from the fish finder. They are tracking me everywhere I go. I hear their voices. They hear my voices constantly.
Well, sir, this is not something that we have jurisdiction over. I would encourage you that if you think there is criminal activity going on like that, to continue reporting it to the police department.
So you don't have jurisdiction over a FCC illegal usage? That's federal crime. Police wouldn't have jurisdiction over a federal crime.
Well, sir, I'm sorry, there's not anything I can do to help you.
Okay, who's your supervisor?
Yeah, I'm not going to disclose that information.
Okay, can I talk to a supervisor?
No, sir.
Okay, I've recorded this. I'm going to give this to my attorney.
Okay, you have a good day, sir.
Thank you so much for your help.
Here I posted the 10 police reports that I filed that were closed without being investigated. I have pictures of the Lieutenant Dustin Dye, Captain James Smith, Judge Michael Corrales, who are all in charge of this program, controlling Kent Simpson, who is the sheriff that has the drug selling ring in Oklahoma, and I have to confront this one step at a time, standing up for narrow rights and civil liberties, because I've contacted congressmen, senators, lawyers, governors, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security. There's nobody I have not contacted. So I urge you to click, like, and share my story, because we are abused.